Hello everyone, we warmly welcome you all to our special program brought to you by Indian Achievers Forum. I am your host Vatika Singh. Indian Achievers Award is an honor that celebrates the people who went extraordinary to effectuate their aspirations and ideas. In this series, we emphasize not only on the struggles and achievements of the people, but also on the social contributions they made to their native land, India. Before introducing you all to our one such achiever, let's take a look at the small AV.
Indian Achievers Forum is driven by a full-fledged advisory board. The board consists of experienced personalities who have excelled in their respective careers. Together, the forum organizes conferences, events, workshops, exhibitions, trade shows, and B2B initiatives in India as well as abroad. Where there is passion, there is achievement. And where there is achievement, there is Indian Achievers Forum.
Mr. Ashwin Conjeevaram Sundaravadanam in the field of computer and information sciences engineering. With around 15 years of experience in the field of computer and information technology, he has worked with various Fortune 100 companies globally. Hello, sir. How are you?
Hey, I'm fine. How are you, Vatika? Good
I'm
evening.
fine as well. So, before entering into the questions, tell us how did this research idea came into your mind in your childhood, and what made you develop so much passion towards research and to become an academic scholar as well.
Sure, definitely. So, to tell about myself, I'm Ashwin, Conjeevaram Sundaravadanam. So, basically, like from my childhood, I was very curious and an inquisitive person by nature. So, I used to have ardent interest in seeking like profound knowledge in every single thing I encountered. I can tell you the best example is when my dad got my first PC. I was like I went into the disassembling and learning every single part of it. This is a small example. So from that time, I had been very passionate in my academics too. I always secured the highest grade in my school. I studied in one of the best schools in Chennai. And apart from that, also, I used to participate in several extracurricular activities. So the put it in a nutshell, I'm always like used to think out of the box. So from my point of view, I always contribute to the society and to the nation. So I always had my goals set in mind. So I always worked towards it. Even after I was like completing my school there, I was having a passion from my eighth grade to do my master's. So I always had remained like incessant in preparation for every single like competitive exams. And also I never left my passion towards my master's. And at last I came here to do my master's in US. So this research idea, like whatever like I've done and so many research contributions were all because I was having a very good passion towards it because the main thing is like I was always a subject matter expert. I always wanted to explore the other part. So that led me to master more and complete this research.
Right, sir. So tell us something about your higher education and what all milestones you had to cover in achieving your goals.
Absolutely. So as I already said, I had a very strong mindset and a willpower along with my parents' help. Of course, without them, I cannot be here. So even during my masters, once I came here, there was a lot of like hardships. It's not like the what we do in India. So for everything, like for example, selecting a course, even during my coursework, I had to like cross many hurdles, like applying internships. There are a lot of struggles here and there. Apart from that, I had to like even maintain my finances. So these were all like the different part of the like what do you call the big ball game. So and apart from all this, the most main thing is I have to maintain high GPA. So GPA is every for every credit whatever you take for your subjects. It's very much highly calculated, and also you have to maintain that in order to complete your graduation. So having all these kind of like different like areas revolving around your head, I still successfully completed my masters. And even after completing masters, there was another more struggle in pursuing my dream job. So cracking these interviews was not like a cakewalk, what as anybody think.
Surely, sir. So, moving ahead, we know for a fact that starting anything has never been easy for any one of us. So, what all were the challenging predicaments that you had to go through initially in your journey?
Yeah, sure, definitely. So when I started my career here, I actually worked back in India as well before my masters. So I had a little bit of corporate experience, but after maybe we can say a short gap of 2, 3 years after my masters, it was very difficult to get it back. I'm telling you because you just go into other world of studying. and getting into research and all those categories. So I had several challenges, I can say, both as technical and behavioral. But one thing always I had been self-motivated. I never let things go. That's always my, I can say, the positives of me. Even like I used to get so many like what you call negative comments, like, why are you doing this? You could have been in there. You could have like, studied here, but you just went to the extra mile. I always love going to the extra mile because that's the best strategy I've learned myself to develop a killer instinct. So what I do is, even if I face so many challenges, like for example, when I was in my office, getting up and ramping up into the new project, talking to different business clients, how to handle the stress and how to handle an overwhelming situation. So these were like the most critical, like challenges anybody, even me, face the same thing. So or to solve that, I never had a big mantra or something, but I had a simple formula. I used to calm myself. I used to prioritize things, like divide the bigger problems into smaller problems, and I love taking a bottom up approach because that's the best way you choose it. Like taking a small thing, like even if you have a big thing to solve or to get a solution, that's the best route. So I always use that route. That always favors the business ethics. That's very important, and also positively contributes towards the customer satisfaction and success. So I believe this is like the what do you call it, the magical thing I followed, and I was really able to like cross any challenge I had in my professional career, and still it's going on for me right now.
Right, sir. So, share with us some current or future research ideas and its impact to the engineering society.
Yeah, absolutely. So to be like put it in a nutshell, right? I'm an engineer. Everybody here, most of us are engineers. Even if you're not in the engineering domain, doesn't mean that you're an engineer. So to be in a smaller terms, right? So we are here for a reason, to create a difference among others. So what I believe from my side, I'm not a great scientist or something, but with whatever experience I have with my research and whatever knowledge, I always try to contribute something to the society, nation, and humanity. Because I believe that is the best we can do. Because we can earn money, we can donate money, but something like a contribution. It can be a small technological innovation, it can be a small product, and so many things. So I always strive towards that, and my passion is always towards that because being a research scholar, and I've published so many papers in my IEEE Explore, and I'm still doing it. But apart from all that, what is going to be spoken about is my donation or also my contribution to the society. Information is and data is the bread and butter for any organization. So there are a lot of security, privacy concerns with a lot of technological advancements, even in cloud. So I have like a lot of day-to-day real life problems which I want to address through my research. And also, I love playing around with wireless system. Also, I had my paper recently, like a couple of years back, for a wheelchair which I designed, which I'll be talking about later too. It's a very interesting one, like Stephen Hawkins. It actually like locomotes based on the brain signal. I also very much am fascinated with the smart cities, right? How this Internet of Things is transforming all their like the real life ideas and everything into the people's life. That's giving a simple solution and making life better. So this is pretty much my future research ideas.
Right, sir. So, you must be having certain future plans for yourself also. So, tell us something about that as well.
Absolutely. So as I had already mentioned you about like before, I always like to keep myself updated because right, there is nothing like in life called we have achieved it. Still a long way to go. And whatever I have learned from my experiences and from my elders and teachers, I always believe that I have still a many things I have to explore. So in my future plan is like it's very simple. It's not like a big one. I always love to remain a subject matter expert as I am already, and still I'll be the same, and like to be an expert in the field of interest, especially computer technology and engineering domain. So my future plan is I'll always try to belong there instead of doing the day-to-day activities like 9 to 5 and all those entrepreneurship, etc. That's why I always follow my greatest leader, Dr. Abdul Kalam sir, because what he says is you have to dream always before your dreams come true. So I strongly believe in that, and I'll surely try towards it.
Right. So, moving ahead, you must be knowing about the Atmanirbhar Bharat campaign prevailing in India right now. So, what are your views on this campaign and how are your research contributions going to add value to it?
Sure. That's a great question. So yeah, I've always been greatly fascinated by Dr. Narendra Modi ji, like our greatest prime minister, and his great initiative taken, to bring in India a self-sufficient and a sustainable nation. So that Atmanirbhar, I've just like read a few lines about it, and I've also been a follower. But what I believe is like from being an engineering domain, whatever I belong and people belong, I think we have to provide the maximum potential of us in scientific knowledge, applied mathematics so that we can benefit the mankind through this wonderful mission. So even I mean everybody knows about the mission, so I don't want to talk much about it. But what I feel is it's extremely important to society, and even my effort might be a small 0.01%, but still it's your effort, right? So I always make sure it's inclined towards nation building and providing the highest value in human values, as well as I was reiterated before. And I can give you an example, I recently read a news like a couple of years back about the Hyperloop. That was also an Indian government initiative where they laid out I think it was the biggest route between Chennai and Bangalore. So that was also a part of this Atman because they don't want to hire anybody from outside. We as Indians, as citizens, we can do it. So that's what the engineers could make a difference. So even my future research work, which I have planned, I think will surely stand in one of the milestones here, paving for a better future.
Right, sir. So first of all, congratulations on winning the Indian Achievers Award. I
Thank you.
really want to know that what was the feeling when you came to know that you have won the award, and who all have been your constant supporters in this journey.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Yeah, to be honest, I was so privileged and honored to have been first nominated, and my sincere thanks and gratitude to all the honorary judges and the members of the esteemed committee. So I surely I was as if I didn't was what do you call? I didn't expect it, but I was very happy because I feel that every single what do you call compliments and awards are very important for everybody because it would be a great source of encouragement and a career boost in your professional as well as in your personal life. So I still believe I can still work on many things, whatever I've planned in my life, and love to get many more awards from not only Indian achievers from any other places, but still I'm very, very thankful for whatever you have done for me. Thanks a lot.
So now, since we know a lot about your professional role, tell us something about your social contributions as well.
Absolutely. So, and how that can be employed in. So, social contribution is as I said, from an engineer, whatever I've done through my research, that's what I'm going to talk about. So, I've published a lot of articles in IEEE, especially in as I mentioned, I've published a concept for a wheelchair, a novel GSM-based telemedicine system, and so many things. But it takes so much time for explaining. But I'll just concentrate on one of the project, which I like myself, is the novel proposition of this intuitive wheelchair. So that is similar, like how what you have seen with Stephen Hawkins. But I have my own different what you call dynamics in there. So I have my own concept how it works. So existing, there are a lot of wheelchairs, as everybody knows, which may automatically moves for people physically challenged and accessible, differently abled people. But my research, what I concentrate was to provide extreme feasibility of the locomotion. It should be very easy, right? It should never be complicated. So, for example, there is a person who cannot move his shoulder or arms or any of the motor disabilities he had. So, for those kind of people, I targeted this wheelchair. So he just has to have he or she have to have the EEG cap, which we call as electroencephalography, where it transmits the signal from the brain. There are four parts of the brain. So the important part it will be transmitted through the cap, and once that signal is being acquired, I use my own DSP spatial filtering and other technologies to extract the signal, and that converts into a locomotion. So the advantage of this one is it's extremely feasible, as I said, and it's for directed. And the existing wheelchairs only move to a smaller distance, but my concept of wheelchair, you can use it for any long time and any longer distance. And even I have a future for this. It can be also infused by the Zigbee. For example, if the person is getting lost somewhere in a remote area or getting trapped, I'm also planning to have my another research paper on this, where I can implement the Zigbee to track the wheelchair. So this will give the future the flexibility to use my device in unknown and evolving scenarios, serving various purposes. So I think this is one of the thing I really wanted to talk about.
All right, sir. So before concluding this session, you know that IF is followed not only by mainstream organizations but also those young minds who aspire to be like our achievers someday. So, what is that one message you'd like to give them?
Yeah, absolutely. So being an engineer, apart from the technical skills and whatever research I've spoken about, the most vital part of us is the communication, right? How well you communicate. And that is one of the greatest success in my career as well, because once you communicate well, you can sell yourself, you can prove yourself, right? What you are capable of. So to my young generation and my students and everybody, whoever who likes my research or who wants to get inspired by me, I'll tell you one thing: always concentrate on effective communication, because that is only possible on a long-term basis, and you cannot go to a place and get the money and study there. It's never possible. So try to follow these small things. What I followed: try to read a paragraph every day, like it may be a news article, a forum, everything. This will improve your vocabulary skills, like learning new words. Second thing, most important thing, whatever you read, try to write it and rephrase it so that you'll get more perception, how to convert your thoughts into ideas. That will help you with the writing skills and perceptive skills. The last one, once you do that, try to explain this to someone or even talk in front of the mirror every day. This will improve your speaking skills. And don't forget that never get worried if you make any grammatical or any mistakes while you talk, only because when you make a mistake, you become perfect, right? That's very, very important as an engineer. So consider all that. And learning mistakes, I mean, learning from all these mistakes greatly helps us to improve our professional outlook as well. So nothing is too late. Every day must be like a day one for you guys. So start fresh if you feel stressed or demotivated. So this is what I followed as my secret. So that's what I want to share with you.
And that is really commendable, sir. So, thank you so much for joining with us today. It was a pleasure talking to you, and we hope that you continue to inspire people of all ages forever. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much.